Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, beautiful creatures of this beautiful planet. Eric and Mark here with you guys. It is League Unlock, and we have now reached the top three of the LCK Power Rankings, the final of the preseason Power Rankings, and it's been a long road, been a long journey, and been an insane offseason. But to be honest, the LCK, probably the least insane out of all the major regions.
Which is crazy, right? Because under normal circumstances, we're looking at what's happened in the LCK, some of the big moves that have gone over, getting franchising in this storied league.
Yep.
There'd be a lot of stuff to talk about, and it would be leading the charge. And that ain't the case with 2020
Perks
and
to NA,
2021.
Reckless to G2. Sorry, guys. You can't compete with that one. And the least, and really one of the biggest, not one of the biggest, but a surprise of the offseason is the number 3 squad on our power rankings. We're talking about Gen.G, and why is it a surprise? I'm pretty sure they're the only team of any major region where you're going to see the exact same 5 starters from last year.
It is almost unthinkable with what we've seen go on around the world. And even, again, in the LCK, which has had more turnover, I think, than usual when you're looking at some of these squads, and especially talking about the powerful players in the scene. Gen.G says, we did all the work last year, guys. Don't you remember when we went out and got Clid? Yeah, okay. We remember that. We remember BDD. And I think a lot of people should remember, outside of a very poor, underperforming performance at Worlds this past year, you're looking at a Gen.G squad that had a better year than they've had since they won the World Championship.
It's been the best year as the Gen.G organization because obviously the world title was under Samsung. But yeah, really aside from that G2 series, which, they got smacked. No doubt about that. But other than that, even in the group stage, they closed things out with a fantastic, dominant win against Fnatic to lock up first. They lost, that heartbreaker to DRX in the LCK finals with the 25-hour pause that got thrown in there. But really, you look at this Gen.G roster, how 2020 played out, and do you really need to make changes?
No, I don't think you really do. I think that's one of the things that is, one of the benefits, obviously, of this lineup. And where you're looking at, everyone else, you're gaining this player, you're gaining this, avenue of play. What did Gen.G gain? They gained a whole split, a whole offseason, a whole another year to develop synergy, to be together, to work on what you've had, knowing, the little moves where it's like, oh man, I know my jungler is going to be. These are the little type of things that you can build up with a history, with more time together as a team, as an organization. And I think when you're talking about this Gen.G lineup, talking about the power players that are there, you couldn't ask for pretty much that level of stability. That's what you really wanted to try and take that next step. Because as you said it, they were right up at the very top of the table all year round. They were in some very tough, very close series. The difference maker can be, and should be for players of that skill, not needing to get a reinforcement, not needing someone to back them up again. It's in-house. Gen.G's got the talent to be able to do it. We got to see them put it to the table.
There's really only 2 series throughout all of 2020, including Spring, where you can say those were bad, underperforming series for Gen.G. The problem is, it was in the finals of Spring and the quarterfinals of the World Championship. The 2 places you cannot have those kind of performances. So that's why some people might be upset with this. They did get Karis and Flawless coming in as subs. Clid and BDD pretty confidently, I think, will still be the starters, of course. Maybe they see some time, Flawless and Karis, that is, but don't really see that happening. Outside of that, maybe people say you should have replaced Rascal. Maybe you could have upgraded the top lane. But guys, who are you upgrading them with? Maybe you play a bidding war with Damwon to get Khan? Maybe they tried that. I don't know. I don't know how you upgrade it.
Right, exactly. That when you're talking about, me being happy about as far as staying the course, right? Building on what you had done last year, building up the synergies, everything else of that nature. That's not saying that, sure, if you can go out and get Nuggery, yeah, that's fantastic. But then, as you said it, you got to play that game. You got to play the negotiations. You got to play everything that's going on. Then talking with the rest of your players and now talking to Rascal that you're going to be. All these things go on. And for Gen.G, really for me, what you're going to gain and what your chances were to try and secure one of those players, it wouldn't have really been worth it to try and go all in that type of situation. as I've been saying, focus on what you have for this team, the power players, what you can do. And I think one of the things as well, when you talk about Gen.G, that a lot of people are sleeping on and maybe aren't looking at is life. Life staying with this squad.
Yeah.
That is something that I think
TSM rumors dead and gone.
absolutely. And that is one of the things that I think is a big one to look at is a lot of people were looking at life as far as trying to acquire him, trying to take that next step with him for their organization. We're going to see him continue to develop, continue to play, and continue to play off of Ruler down in that bot side. And as I said it when we were talking about him possibly moving, there is no better set support right now in the LCK than my man Life. And you better believe with the way Set is right now in preseason, we're going to see him at some point in the year.
Yeah, I fully expect Ruler and Life to continue to dominate in the bot lane. One of the few LCK bot lanes that will smash your face in when it comes to the laning phase. And we saw that countless times throughout summer and spring. But yeah, I mean, a full year under their belt with this roster, and really the theme of the top 3 on the power rankings is little, or in Gen.G's case, no changes to the starting lineup, which we've seen countless times when there's this insane turnover in the rest of the league. The guys who have played a full year together, it's a pretty big advantage.
And I want to tell you, and I want to remind everybody that, look, when we get a couple of weeks in, a month in, all right, and you're seeing Gen.G at that top of the table, maybe they drop a game to Damwon or struggle against T1, whatever the case is going to be, this will be a top-level team putting up top-level results. But the problem now for Gen.G, that you've justified, you've gained this extra year together, another offseason, nothing going on. Now you got to deliver results. As I said it, you have the talent. Everybody is there to put it together last year and this year now with that growth. And as I said, if you're not making that move, you're not making these changes, you got to put up something in the trophy cabinet. And it's not just good enough to be in that top 3, to be hanging around saying, hey, oh, we had a tough loss to Damwon, but we're hanging in that top spot. Well, did you pick up a spring championship? Did you pick up the summer championship? That is the questions. And that it has to be the expectations now for this Gen.G lineup.
Yeah, and it's going to be the expectations from the fans as well. It's about the big matches now where Gen.G has to perform, because you're right, they've done it in the regular season. They've had deep playoff runs even, but when it's that huge, most important series of the split or the year, not only have they lost, that doesn't even look like the version of Gen.G we've seen all year, which I don't know if that speaks to it being mental or what, but that's something that the team will have to improve on, because they're probably tired of being a really good regular season team, I would imagine, because that amounts to, well, diddly squat in the long run if you're not getting those dubs in the big matches.